Hey guys, Kaz here, and today I'm going to be talking about all of the books on my 2025 TBR. So, if you saw my goals video, you would see that I've moved away from that whole 23 in 2023, 24 in 2024, etc. And this year I've got 20 books on my TBR. I don't want to keep upping every year, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because I want to just be able to read what I want, and I've got other things, you know, other goals and stuff, so 20 is a decent number, I think. Another thing you might have heard on that video, if you watched it, is that last year on my 2024 TBR there were a few books I didn't get to. Basically in October I decided to just not even try, because at that point I'd been slumping for a few months. I didn't want to force my way through things, so I have brought those over to this one. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through the books. I've got them in sort of piles of genres, so the closest to me is fantasy, so we'll go there first. First up I have Sea Sparrow by Kristin Cashore. This is the 5th and I believe final, but I might not be telling the truth there, in the Graceling series. This is a series that I've absolutely loved since reading it. I read the first one quite a while ago now, and I think maybe like each year I'd been carrying it on. I would have wanted to get this last year, but like I said, I was slumping, I wasn't about that life, so yes, I want to get to it this year. I feel like it's going to be amazing because I've just been really loving this series, and if I read this and finish it and I can finally say that it's one of my favourite series, because maybe it will be, because I do really enjoy it. So yeah, this is a fantasy series and it's about these people, the Gracelings, and they can have certain powers. It can be really anything. You can have like a proficiency in archery, or you could also be a really good cook. You have the stuff, and then stuff kicks off, and politics and trauma, and a just really great series. Another one I want to read is The Witches of Vardø by Anya Bergman. I didn't know whether to put this in fantasy or not, because it's about some witches in Norway in the 1600s, but also like it's based on real events, so like I don't know if it's going to be fantasticalized in here. I don't know if there's going to be like actual witchy stuff happening. But yeah, basically in the 1600s, the witch trials, women getting killed, putting on a stake, setting on fire for being witches, all that jazz. And this is another book about it. Last year, the year before, a couple of years ago I think, I read The Mercies by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. Absolutely loved that. So when I saw this book I was like, you know, I'm going to pick that up because I really enjoyed that one. So hopefully this one will be as enjoyable. It won't just be like, oh, I wish I was reading that other book. We'll see about the vibes. But yeah, hopefully it captures its own way of telling this story and isn't like a knockoff of the other book. Obviously they're both based on the same real life events, so we'll see. You know, I've read loads of Greek stuff and enjoyed it also. We'll see. We shall see. Next up we have The Dark Vault by V.E. Schwab. Why did I pick this one? It's massive. It's like 2 books in one, and a bonus short story. I don't know why. I just randomly picked up books. I was like, I've had that one for a while. Let's go with that one. Oh, actually, I think it might be because one of my goals, keep referring back to that video, go watch it if you want. One of my goals is to like complete a haul from one of the previous years. So I've been keeping a spreadsheet since 2020. So each of those years I've got like a sheet for all the books I hauled, and I want to like complete one of the years. I've not got loads of books on all of them. Each books have got between like 6 and 12, each list has like between 6 and 12 books still on them that I haven't read. I think I'm aiming for the 2021 list, and I believe I got this in that year, so that's why it's on the list. I can tell you nothing about this book. I actually don't know anything about this. It's V.E. Schwab. I've really enjoyed V.E. Schwab's writing before, whether it be middle grade or adult or YA or whatever, so I'm hoping it's going to be good. I think this is like, I don't know if it's her first release, but I feel like it's one of the older ones, so we'll see if like you can see an improvement since then, or whether it's always had this magical flow of language. We shall see. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. Histories, archives, bishops, who knows? But it's chunky. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is 2 books. Yeah, so it's The Archived, which was a book 1, and The Unbound, which is book 2. But it's now called The Dark Vault as 1 book. So yeah. And then last in fantasy, I have a full series, because why not? So let's see if I get this in the right order. I have And I Darken. I think this is the next one. Now I Rise. And then finally Bright We Burn by Kirsten White. And basically I've had this series for a good few years as well. But last year I put the Daughter of Smoke and Bone, yeah. So last year I put the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy on my list to read, and I absolutely loved that series. Amazing. So I was like, maybe this will be the same. Maybe I've had it for ages and it's gonna actually be amazing and I should actually read it. So all I know about this is Vlad the Impaler retelling, but a girl. And like, I think there's a brother and sister, but I might just be making that up. But hopefully it's good. Next up I have one mystery, and that is The Leopold Files by Dane Cobain, our very own Dane Cobain. He is on BookTube, I will link him down below. This is book 3 in the Leopold mysteries, and I've really enjoyed the other 2 books. It's not really my forte, mysteries where you follow in the police, and like, I love watching it on TV, I love true crime, but for some reason a lot of the time I don't click with the book versions. But I've actually really enjoyed both of the previous books, which I'm very glad about, because I was a bit scared. I was like, I know Dane, what if I don't like his books? But I do. So I want to read this one. It's the 3rd one. I think it's the most recent. I don't know if there's going to be more. It's very easily a series that you can carry on forever, because it's like, here's a new murder. But I really enjoyed the fact that the previous 2 books were like completely different. The scenarios, the crimes in it, they were so different. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I don't know anything about it. I've not read the back. I just want to go into it and like enjoy. So yeah, hopefully I do. Now I have 3 contemporary books on this list as well. The first up is The Sunshine Court by Nora Sakavic. This is pretty self-explanatory. It is the 4th book in All for the Game. It is the 1st book in the spin-off of All for the Game. It's centered around a character you meet in All for the Game, but it's different because it's in a different place. But yeah, I've not read the back. I don't care. I'm scared. What if the magic's not there, because it is a different set of characters? A lot of them, or some of them, I would have met before, but it's still scary. Yeah, I did want to get to this in 2024, but it just never happened. Like I said, I was slumping like for the whole of the last of the year. I got out of it a bit, but I still wasn't fully out of it. So yes, I'm apprehensive about this book. I'm scared, but also I hope it'll be amazing like the other ones. We shall see. I also have The Love Interest by Cale Dietrich. I've had this book for years now. Basically I picked this up because Cale Dietrich did a book with Sophie Gonzalez called If This Gets Out. So I picked this book up to see like what his writing was like, and then I've just never read it. I've heard very average things. So I just want to, you know, read it and get it off the TBR. Maybe I'll enjoy it. Maybe it'll be average like a lot of people say. But this is like 2 spies and there's a girl, and then they're in love with the girl but also each other. Bisexual stuff. I don't know. Something like that. Hopefully it's good. But I don't have high hopes. But maybe that's a good thing, because maybe I'll go into it and be like pleasantly surprised. But I want to get to it. It's intrigued me this whole time. And then last in the contemporaries is Broken Hearts and Zombie Parts by William Hussey. As you can see, I am actually currently reading this one. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm like 100 pages in. But yeah, this is about this boy who's making this zombie film, but also at the same time he has this heart condition. So it's about him trying to do this before he has to go and have open heart surgery. And yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. And that is 10 books, which logically and mathematically says we're in the middle of this video because there's 20 on here. So let's head on over to a message from one of the spawns and I'll be back with the rest of them. I'm literally trying to edit this video right now. Here's your cat content. It's in my neck. Hi Mance, you're really annoying and cute. And I'm busy, but you're there all the time. So next up we have some sci-fi books. First of all, we have Cress by Marissa Meyer. This is, I want to say, the 4th book, but it might be the 3rd. The 3rd book. Yes, the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles. This is also another goal I mentioned. One of my goals is to read some series, finish some series. So this definitely helps towards that. Yeah, I was really enjoying this series. I've just not carried it on. It's sci-fi, it's robots, but also fairy tales. So yeah, I'll be interested to see where it goes next. This is a series that for a long time I just never picked up, but then I did start reading it and I was like, you know what, that's actually quite good. Not my favourite series in the world, it is one that I've been unhauling as I've been reading them, but definitely one that I want to like actually finish. So yeah. And then I also have 2 books in the same series. This is a middle grade series, so book 2 is The Light Thieves Search for the Black Mirror, and the final book is The Light Thieves and the Terrifying Dawn by Helena Duggan. I read the first book of this not last year or the year before, I think, and I really enjoyed it. It's a book that I've not heard anybody talk about. It's this middle grade series and it's very apt for nowadays because it's like a billionaire thinking that he can just own everything. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed the first book and I picked up both of these books last year. I really wanted to get to them. Again, I've said it so many times in this video, I was too slumpy, it just never happened. But yeah, I really want to finish these books and finish this series. One of the things I absolutely love about this, because I have had a little look when I first got it, is I don't know why every series doesn't do this, but look at this previously on. So look, the story so far, this is book 2, look, and it tells you in multiple pages like exactly what happened in book 1 so you can remember. Right? Why doesn't every book do that? Most of the time it doesn't even tell you it's part of a series nowadays, never mind actually tell you what happened before that. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to finishing this middle grade series off, and if you do like middle grade, please read this series because it's really good. At least the first book was. I've not seen anybody else talk about it, so, you know. Next up, I have a few comic graphic novel type things. The first one is Lightfall. This is Lightfall 3, The Dark Times by Tim Probert. I really wanted to read this, but I want to reread book 1 and 2 first because I want to just make sure I've got everything up to date and then read number 3. I've absolutely adored this series. The artwork is so good. I don't want to show you it in here because like it might spoil stuff for me, so... But yeah, it's about this girl and her grandfather goes missing and then she meets this weird creature guy, this Goldabrian, I can't remember, Goldrian. This dude who's the last of his kind anyway. And it's just really good. And I need to reread the first 2 so I can finish it. I think this is the last one anyway, I think it's finished. And of course, that'll be finishing a series. You see, we're trying to link all these goals together to make it easier. Another one, Y: The Last Man. This is book 2, but basically last year I picked up a bunch of them. I've got from 1 to 8 now, so I just want to get that read. In 2024 I did The Wicked and the Divine, so I reread the first one and then read all the series. So I want to like actually be continuing and finishing these series because I have a lot of them, so I'm picking them all up, and you know, so I've put number 2 on my list in 2025, but just like all of them that I own at least would be a good start. This is a comic about the world, and then for some reason all the male of all of the mammal species have died out, and the only one left is this guy and his male monkey. And yeah, I've only read volume 1 and it was quite a few years ago, so I want to reread that one and then carry on the series. And then the last one in the comic section is The Absence by Martin Stiff. I don't really know anything about this one. I picked it up on a whim because it was a couple of pounds when I was looking for something else. It was one of them times where the delivery would have been more expensive if I didn't pick this. It's weird times sometimes. Buy another thing for a couple of pounds and then it makes it worthwhile. But I mean, it's like, it's got a creepy face dude guy on it. And what I enjoy in comics is a creepy face guy dude. It's in black and white, I believe, yeah. But I don't really know much more about that. But we'll read it and then see if it was a good whim or not a good whim. That is the question. And then the last stack I have here is non-fiction. So first of all, these first two are two of the books that I've rolled over from 2024. And that is, the first one is The Worst Journey in the World by Apsley Cherry Garrard. This is a guy who was on Captain Scott's mission. He wasn't one of the guys that like went to try and get onto South Pole and then died in a tent. It was a different guy who went and found the guys that died in a tent. But yeah, I just think it's very apt. The Worst Journey in the World. But like, if you slump in, non-fiction is the ones that I didn't go towards, and that's why there's two of them on here that was on last year's list. Because I'm really intrigued and I'm really interested and I really enjoy this stuff, but like, not if you're not in the mood to read, you know what I mean? And then the other one I've carried over is Shackleton by Roland Hunsford, and this is a chunky boy. I've read two of Roland Hunsford's other like polar biographies. The first one I read was Nansen. I also read Scott and Amundsen. So I want to read the Shackleton. He's just really good at writing these non-fiction biographies about polar guys. I'm sure this one will be no different. Oh, if you somehow don't know, Shackleton, again, did the polar stuff in the boat, and then Endurance, the boat, sunk, and then they were on the water, and then they went to an island, and then some of them trekked across another island to get some human contact to tell people that everybody else was on an island stuck, and then they survived. Cool times. And then some of them went to the war because it was like the war times and then died in the war, which is really unfortunate. Imagine going through all of that living and then like a few months later you die because you're in a war. Unfortunate. But yes, the other two I have Malorie Blackman, Just Saying. This is non-fiction biography, Malorie Blackman's life. That's what I know. I've heard somebody talk about it, saying it was really good. I can't remember who it was now, but yeah, I heard good things. I saw it in a charity shop last year in a 3 for £1, so obviously I had to pick it up. And yeah, I'm intrigued because I have really enjoyed all of the Malorie Blackman books that I've read. And then last but not least, in the non-fiction and on this list as a whole, we have Into Thin Air by Jon Krakauer. Jon Krakauer likes to go into places. I've read his other book called Into the Wild, and this is non-fiction about him climbing up Mount Everest. So yeah, intriguing. I've heard very good things about this. I've been meaning to read this for many years, and then I finally got a copy of it last year, so now I can read it. And there we go. Those are the 20 books on my 2025 TBR. Let me know down below if you've read any of these, if you're interested in any, which ones you think I should really enjoy, which ones I should go for first. Obviously I'm already reading one, so Broken Hearts and Zombie Parts is the one I'm reading first. But yeah, say anything down there. It's kind of what it's there for, you know? And do the things if you want, like if you want, comment if you want, subscribe if you want, but any if you want. And yes, I will see you in a few days with another video.